Assisted suicide is when a physician supplies information or the means for someone who is found to be terminally ill to end their suffering. I'd like to give you a little bit of information about Brittany Maynard. She's a 29-year-old, very happy, very beautiful young woman who was diagnosed with an inoperable glioblastoma brain tumor. She's given a few months to live.
You're good.
She told People magazine in October of 2014, my glioblastoma is going to kill me and that's out of my control. I've discussed with many experts how I was going to die, and it's a terrible, terrible way to die. So being able to choose to go with dignity is less terrifying. Brittany did that in November 1st, surrounded by the people who loved her. With their hands holding her, she ended her life. Now the main argument for death with dignity is that they're saying that there's not enough guidelines, that it's not strict enough. But it is. You have to be at least 18 years old, you have to be a resident of the state, you must be able to make medical decisions and communicate clearly, and you must be diagnosed with a terminal illness that will lead to death within 6 months. I've handed out on your form, on the papers there, those things explained to you. You have to give a written request with witnesses for you to have the right to die. There's also, following that, there's also psychological evaluation, and then there's a record of prescription that's written. And then even after that, there's also this paper, which is a 12-page doctor follow-up. So if we were to follow in New York State, if we were to follow the death with dignity law that Oregon has, then there wouldn't be that slippery slope that everybody thinks there's going to be, that people can just walk in and say, I want to die. That's not the case. You can't do that. Another fight against it is the fight about the Hippocratic Oath with doctors and saying that that they will do no harm. Well, I ask you, isn't it harmful? What they're doing is allowing people to suffer, to lose all bodily functions, to not be able to recognize their family members, for their family members to not have a peaceful closure and have them die and knowing who they are. I say that that's harm. And I think that people should be allowed to make their own decision whether they live or die. It's not up to the government, it shouldn't be up to you, it shouldn't be up to me. And lastly is the religious argument that it's against God's 10 commandments. You're not supposed to kill yourself, your body's a temple. Well, who are you to tell me what my God wants? That maybe your God doesn't want you to do that. But who are you to tell me what my God wants? What my God says is right or wrong? Nobody. That's what this country was built on, freedom of religion. And if my God says that it's okay, then who are you to tell me it's not? And with that, I would just, if anybody has any questions about it.
Is New York anywhere near passing a law like that?
Right now, no. There's 4 states right now that do. There's Oregon, Montana, Vermont, and Washington.
Okay.
All have. Oregon is the only one that has a Death with Dignity Act and has all the paperwork that I handed out. So I think that if New York was to do it, that we should follow them, because it's very stringent, and it's what they do. There's 2 oral requests they have to make, and they're separated by 15 days.
Who would they request them to?
To their doctor. They would request it to their physician.
So the doctor has to give the okay for it to happen?
Correct. Yeah, and then after that initial request, you have to wait 15 days. So like you let it sink in, just in case you're making it in a spur of the moment kind of thing. Oh my God, I've just been given a death sentence, I want to die. But then you talk about it, you have 15 days, and if you request it again.
Okay.
And you have to have 2 written requests to the physician. It has to be signed in the presence of 2 witnesses. And they have to determine your mental status as well.
Any particular
What is the cost?
What's that?
What is the cost?
There, it's through insurance
It's
and it's,
insurance?
yeah, it's a prescription for a medication. It's a lethal dose of a medication.
So there's a cost for a lethal dose of medication,
Well, it goes through your insurance,
and your insurance will pay for
Yes.
you to die.
yes.
So if your insurance doesn't pay it, who's gonna, you're dead.
Well, if the insurance doesn't pay for it, it's a doctor visit. It's not like any other visit, it's like a sick visit. You're going to see your doctor, you're gonna pay your copay.
Right.
Doctor's gonna write you a prescription.
Still
What if
not
it's not
following it.
approved, is it affordable enough for you to pay out of pocket?
Yes, the prescriptions aren't expensive, it's a generic drug. And what it is it's just things that slow down your respiratory. It